Council stands at the ready, Your Grace. I will fly to Harrenhal at your command and set our toehold in the Riverlands.
Your Grace, my Lord Husband's blockade of the gullet moves into place. All seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing will soon be cut off.
I want Aemond Targaryen.
Welcome to the Unreal Hour.
Hi there and welcome to our show. I'm Fiona.
And I'm Emma. This is season 2, episode 1.
Yes.
Sun for a Son.
I'm so excited. I can't believe we're on season 2. We made it.
We did.
We got through it. Excellent. So this episode was directed by Alan Taylor. So yeah, we were very excited about this director. He's done a lot of big things, a lot of big CGI stuff as well. So going in, we were expecting big things. And he is known for Terminator Genesis, Thor, The Dark World, Boardwalk Empire, great show. Nurse Jackie, loved that. In Treatment, none of these are CGI stuff, but still, good shows, real good shows. Mad Men, Law and Order, The Sopranos, absolutely top-notch TV. Lost, Deadwood, Sex and the City, 6 Feet Under, The West Wing. I mean, like, these are on the top list of shows you should have seen.
Absolutely. It's a great CV for a director.
Definitely. So expecting big things from him going forward. I believe he's directing a couple more episodes this season at least.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, definitely. But for now, we will move on to writers. It's written by Ryan Condal. We have Ty Mickle, who was the assistant to Vince Gerardis, who was a producer in Game of Thrones.
Right, cool.
Ty is the story editor on this episode, and I believe for quite a few episodes this season. So not a writer as such, but he has got a writing credit as the story editor.
Cool.
So look out for him, up and coming. So yeah, overall thoughts about the episode. What did you think?
I thought it was a great opening episode.
I agree. What did you like?
I liked the reintroduction of the characters coming straight from what happened.
Yeah, it's 10 days or something that's passed.
Yes, no more of these time jumps.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they were getting a bit hard to follow. It was like relearning characters all over again.
Yeah.
Because they grew up and changed and matured, and
absolutely.
Some of them didn't.
We do have some new characters, but we don't have that massive time jump, so that was quite nice.
Yes, definitely.
And we've really gone straight into it.
Oh, big time. We were picking up right where we left off, and it's all action from here.
A lot of emotion.
Oh, big time. So I thought it was a great open. I loved Rhaenyra's face.
Yeah.
I think she said 4 words the whole episode, but her face was just absolutely fantastic all the way through. Loved the new credits.
Yes. And I have a huge bit on that.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about that.
So it's a tapestry this time.
Yes.
We no longer have the model of old Valyria. And it starts with a spot of blood. And then we see the main fortress, and it's from Viserys' model. And there's blood running into a dragon, which is maybe depicting the dragon bond. Not too sure about that. So yeah, we also see obsidian candles.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool when it comes to the dragon bond. Is this like a magical thing? Was there what's the word I'm looking for?
A ritual?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Was there a ritual with these obsidian candles? How did that go down? That's really cool that it's depicted in this tapestry.
Well, there's the possibility that, it may be depicting Azor Ahai and Nissa Nissa. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's very like the picture depiction of that sacrifice between Azor Ahai and Nissa Nissa.
I think you're right. So After that, we have the Doom of Valyria.
Yes, we do.
Awesome. We have then 3 dragons, which I'm going to assume is representing Aegon, Visenya and Rhaenys.
Yes.
All coming over to Westeros.
Yes.
Then we've got Harren the Black dead, surrounded by his family, surrounded in blood. And there's 2 dragons that seem to be maybe eating the remains. They're either side anyway, and I'm going to take it that it's Vhagar and Balerion.
Yes.
Then we have Bending the Knee, which I think it's Arryn, Stark and Lannister bending the knee.
That sounds right.
We have the Targaryen sigil.
Mm-hmm.
We've got King's Landing. Then we have Maegor dead on the Iron Throne. We have a young King Jaehaerys and Queen Alysanne with a Star of the Seven in the lower corner.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Great Council of 101, which was the opening scene for season 1, so that's really cool that that's in there.
Yeah, definitely. It's important.
Yeah. So there's all of these historic moments happening in this tapestry, and it's really cool that it's gold thread representing fire, and we've got the blood on the gold thread. So we've got the blood and fire. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have Alicent in her green dress moment.
Yes. Yes.
This is now into the story within the House of the Dragon. So we have a divided table. On one side, we've got the Blacks, Daemon, Rhaenys, Corlys, Jace, Luke, and Joffrey.
Yeah.
On the other side, we have the Greens, which is Otto, Kristen, Aemond, Aegon, and Helena.
It is.
So opposite Alicent, we've then got Rhaenyra in her black dress.
Yes. Can I stop you there to offer a theory?
Absolutely.
Do you remember episode, middle of the season, it was the funeral at Driftmark, and Helena was going on her mad ramblings about dragons weaving dragons of thread.
Yes.
Green. And I think that this moment in the tapestry is that.
Yeah.
Is Helena's little weird little rant that she was having.
Bless her, we love her weird rants.
Absolutely we do.
So after that, we've got a golden rose surrounded in swords, which blooms into an image of Aegon.
Yeah.
Aegon the usurper, we'll call him, on the Iron Throne. Then we have Rhaenyra crowned queen on Dragonstone, and it widens to a square with them on either side. On Aegon's side, there's a green hand with ravens coming out.
Yeah.
Then we have Rhaenyra with 2 dragons, and that represents her boys being sent out.
Yeah.
So then we have sigils from all the houses that are surrounding the square. We've got Arryn, Hightower, Lannister, Velaryon, Stark, Baratheon. There are more.
Yes, but they're out of focus.
Yeah. Then lastly, we have Vhagar killing Arrax and Luke.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, if the season progresses, are they adding more to the tapestry?
Well, I would imagine so, because, I mean, there were 58 scenes, did you say, in the Bayou Tapestry?
Yeah. Also, in season 1, we did have changes.
Yes.
Within
as people were, because it was about bloodlines, as new people were born or married in, new bloodlines were added. So yeah, it makes sense that the tapestry will continue as we go on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. I love it.
It's awesome. I can't wait to see how it progresses. So for new characters this episode, we have Cregan Stark. Awesome. He's played by Tom Taylor, who played young Uhtred in The Last Kingdom.
Yes.
We have Alan of Hull, who's played by Abu Bakr Salim.
Sounds like one of Robin's merry men.
He was father in Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
See, that was a great show. We have Hugh, who's played by Kieran Bew. He was Bill O'Hara in Warrior. He also played the leading role in Beowulf, Return to the Shieldlands.
Oh, right.
We have Sir Alfred Broom, and he's played by Jamie Kenna, and he was Fox in Stormbreaker. So Kieran Bew and Jamie Kenna were both in Green Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great
They were
movie.
Ike and Big Mark.
Right. God, it's so long since I've seen it. But yeah, I think I can. I think I'm. Yeah, it's coming back to me that I can almost visualize it.
Yeah, it's a good film.
I've seen it so many times, but they were all a long time ago.
Yeah.
I have to give it another watch.
So next we have Blood, played by Sam C. Wilson.
Yeah.
He was Bill Sykes in Dodger.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, another scary character. And lastly, we have Cheese. He's played by Mark Stobart, and he was Neil in the season 4 of Line of Duty.
Right, okay.
So a very different show.
Yes, very different show.
That's our new characters for this episode.
Well, there's plenty of them, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come with them. Although, except Blood and Cheese, I think they're just making an appearance for this one storyline. Yeah. So, new characters. Right. Fab. Well, when I was looking through the episode, and I like normally structured it in a sort of major plot lines kind of way, and then fill out at the end with some notes. But I felt like there were so many side plots or potential future plots.
Yeah.
That I thought it was worth just doing a wee side plot section. So let's do that and get that. Do that first before we move on to the big stuff.
Cool.
Excellent. So first of all, Winterfell / The Wall.
Oh my God, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Just loved that we heard a Stark voice.
Yes.
It was just brilliant. And it was so great to see the wall and all of that. But I'm jumping ahead.
So yeah, well, it starts with the raven flying over the moor. And the first thoughts that went into my head was dark wings, dark words.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that raven was taking bad news.
Yeah,
and we all know what the bad news was. So yeah, that was Catelyn Tully's saying, I believe. Catelyn Stark, whatever. So yeah, we get to Winterfell, and it's just as I remember it, and it was so cool. And I'm like, it's Winterfell, we're back. Like, there's Stark banners. There's no Bolton banners anywhere. It's great.
All was right in Winterfell.
Yes, all is well again. Honestly, I've never been so emotional as seen as when they tore down the Bolton banners and rehung the Stark ones. I think there was a bit of tears there, and cheering and shouting and clapping, and yeah. Gotta love seeing the Starks in Winterfell. So that was awesome and nostalgic. And they were going through a process which is known in history as decimation. When 1 in 10 get chosen to go to the wall in this case, but in history it was often used by Romans as a way to punish mutinous troops. So 1 in 10 would pull the wrong colour stone, and the other 9 would have to beat them to death.
Oh, wow. So lovely that they've changed it up, that it's a reward as such rather than beaten to death.
I mean, I'm sure they all have their nerves about going to the wall and, joining the Night's Watch and what they might face and what they have to give up. But at the same time, it is an honour.
Yeah.
In the way that they were doing it. So yes, I love that they've changed that around. But the practice of drawing stones like that is called decimation. So,
I love that they said winter is coming.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
He did.
Oh, very early on.
Yep.
Loved that. It was, to be back in the north.
Yep.
Love it.
Cheating out of me. Yes, it is. Although it's dead bad, but
yay.
Winter is coming.
And here we are at the wall. And they're having a conversation about troops and what Rhaenyra needs and blah, blah, blah. He says he's got thousands of greybeards, but he reckons these greybeards can handle themselves. Definitely. But Jaehaerys and Alysanne got a mention. Yeah, talking about the fact that the dragons wouldn't cross the wall. I think it was Silverwing in the book specifically that wouldn't cross the wall. But I think they just made it the dragons for simplicity there. But yeah. Do you think my ancestors built a 700-foot wall of ice to keep out snow and savages? I don't think so.
What a wall it is. It was so great to see it again.
Oh, they've done it justice, haven't they? Because, I mean, this is not like the old wall just still there from before. They've had to rebuild this from scratch. And wow, it looked amazing.
It really did.
It was so nostalgic. It was like, yay, we're back. So yeah, then a raven arrives. Dark wings, dark words, as we already said. So yeah, that was our end of our trip to the north, but it was lovely. It was great to be there for the 5 minutes that we were there. It was like, okay, this is really starting to feel like Game of Thrones again.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Next little side plot was Corlys's new friend.
Yes, Alan of Hull.
Like I said, sounds like one of Robin's merry men.
There's a whole vibe there between them as well. That's like dead awkward.
There is an awkward vibe there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But he's asking about, how the ship's going and blah, 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 and what's going on with the situation. And he says, the gullet is vast. We are not likely to have the numbers to cover all that open water. So, well.
I love that Corlys is like, I just need my ship. Like,
Yeah.
Give me my ship.
Just give me my ship and we're good.
Yeah.
I'll sort out the rest. As long as they follow me, we're good. So yeah, he says it's going to be weeks till the ship is ready. And then he gives him the dagger. Oh, and it was heartfelt. And he says that I was very sorry to hear about your heir's death. 'Twas the blackest of treacheries. Well, I think he's declared what his opinions are and whose side he's on.
Yep.
Very clear. So he rescued Corlys. He was the one that pulled him out the water.
He was very humble about.
Yeah, he wasn't
Corlys
looking for credit, was
no,
he?
Not at all. He was like, right, I'll just get off and do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It seemed so awkward, that moment.
It was very awkward, wasn't it? There seems more to that.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how that unfolds. But I liked him. I got a good vibe from him.
Yeah.
I'm normally, a good judge of character in the first 5 minutes, I would say. And I got the goody vibes from him. I think he's a good man. Well, we shall see.
We shall.
Because wolves in sheep's clothing and all that, those exist too. So next, I can't decide actually. Maybe this might be my second favourite of the subplots. Kristen the Meat Stick, Part 2.
Oh dear.
Yes.
That guy.
What is that all about? That awkward chat about the weather afterwards. Oh, can I just draw attention to the fact that there's been a bit of a room swap, right? So...
Yeah, she's in Rhaenyra's room.
She's in Rhaenyra's old room and the furniture is still in the same place.
Yeah.
It's...
Again, this guy, like, God, have you no self-respect? Both girls in the same room and you're still
probably
wearing
the same bed.
clothes, you rat.
Aye. Oh, and it's like, this is the exact thing that he said to Rhaenyra, like, I don't want to be your whore. And yet, Alison can only really offer him the same deal. She's not going to run away and eat oranges with him.
Absolutely not.
So,
Seems like he was eating her orange.
As I said, when it was Kristen and Rhaenyra in that same spot, sexual harassment in the workplace.
Yep.
She is the queen, for fuck's sake. Well, the queen mother now. And, she's...
Did you have to say the queen mother? That
The dowager queen.
Thanks, that's better.
Right, okay, dowager queen. So yeah, I mean, like, he's her sworn sword and she's like the queen and it's icky.
He's totally
And
cool with it though. He thinks he's the man. He's like, just Bill. She's like, oh, we're not doing this again. And he's like, I just pop my cloak back on, love. I know that's a lie.
Yeah, and it was like the way he was like, whatever you say, I'm sure it will be the last time. I don't think he really believes that. So, yeah, they're a bit icky.
They're vile.
Yeah, but
well, he is.
actually, I'm really glad to see Alison getting some. Right, I mean, let's face it, she's never had anything that would resemble pleasure.
No, but again, it's not a loving relationship, sadly.
No.
For Alison.
No, it's not, but it is her
in control of it, at least.
Yes, she's in control of it and she's experiencing a little bit of debauchery in her life when she's always lived her life so on the straight and narrow. She's been loyal and faithful to Viserys and now he's gone. she's got a little bit of breathing room where she could just be a little bit naughty, and she's not cheating on her husband, or she's not having to deal with any of those complicated moral issues.
No, but I think she's still hating on herself a bit.
Oh, she is. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just glad to see her getting some. So yeah, our next side plot would be Laris creeps on.
Oh my God, this guy. Do you know, I actually quite like how his character's evolving from a watching sense. Like, I just think, oh my God, Laris, what are you doing now? What are you doing now, love? You're such a creep.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He really is. Your handmaiden says that you were indisposed. As in, I've come knocking on your door and you weren't there. Why weren't you there? You're supposed to be there. It was a little bit creepy, but I have that clip, so let's have a wee listen.
Good morning, Your Grace.
Good morrow, Lord Laris.
I had come earlier to have a word before the small council convened, but your handmaiden said that you were indisposed.
Mm-hmm. What is it you wish to discuss?
Oh, she's so creeped out by him.
I have completed questioning the whole of the castle staff. They produced rather interesting details, but I am satisfied I have exposed all who betrayed our trust.
And what of them?
They no longer breathe our air.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I've chosen your new staff personally.
Oh.
It's creepier in your ear.
It really is. The voice. Oh, he's so good at it.
Matthew Needham, you are so cool.
Yeah. We actually love him now because he's like so good at being creepy. Tuning into the actor here instead of the character and loving him.
Absolutely.
But the character, oh my God, he gives me the creeps so much.
Yeah, he's awful.
But which is a sign he's doing such a fab job.
Yeah.
So yes, he's disposed of the people that have betrayed them, and replaced her staff. Now, I'm sorry, but the new staff are creepy as hell.
Yeah, the new staff, like they bathe her. Like, who is he to choose these people that dress and bathe this woman?
Exactly.
Oh.
No, he shouldn't be choosing the staff that close to her. No. And she was feeling all sorts of things there. She was feeling a bit dirty for Kristen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you scrub, darling, that's not coming off like with a sponge.
No.
But she was also just so creeped out by these staff. She's like, I can't trust any of these people. So she was right to get rid of them.
Absolutely. She's sitting in a naked, vulnerable position, feeling shit about herself.
Exactly. And we've all been there.
Aye, go away, dudes.
Absolutely. So yes, the next Laris scene was him with Aegon on the stairs.
It was masterful.
It was a masterclass in manipulation. Otto, sit down. You have been usurped as the king of manipulation. Definitely. It was so intriguing to watch. A master at work, just playing someone like a little puppet.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Did you see him in the scene before with Aegon's court watching from the balcony?
Yes.
Yeah, and so this is the scene that follows that. We're actually moving on to that scene next anyway. But it's because the Aegon scene fell in the middle of these two Laris scenes, so we've got a wee bit jumbled chronologically. But yes, so he was watching and he saw what was going on there and he was like, okay, how am I going to play this to my advantage? And he played a blinder, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So yes. He
knows exactly what he's doing.
What a suck up. You remind me of Jaharis. Aye, right, mate. What a suck up.
I just love when he delivers his line and then he stops and he puts this little puppy face on and he waits for the line to sink in. And at no point in his face do you see the sucker. But you know that's what he's doing inside.
Yeah, definitely. Otto was your father's hand. Planting those seeds.
Hand to 3 different kings.
Maybe he's had his Time. Maybe he could look a little closer. It starts jazz hands and sparklers. Look at me, look at me. So yes, moving on to Aegon's court. And I just found this as a wee side bit of hilarity. I mean, it does have a little bit of reflection on the main story with the Smiths. But for the most part, this scene was a wee bit extra. And I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So the first dude, Gerard, comes in having a wee moan about his sheep. Or is it goats? It was sheep.
It was sheep.
Aye. So he's like, aye, I'll just pay you back. No bother.
It's awful.
It's brilliant.
And he's like, the slow walk up to the king.
Yeah.
Kind of says, well, we can't do that because then everybody would want new sheep. Let's not do that. And Aegon's like, fine.
He's like, perhaps we could just return his sheep. He came all this way. So he's like, no, we can't do that. He's like, but no one will know. It's like, when this king talks, everybody hears it. So yes, he's like, oh, well then, I suppose. And then the next guy's like, there's the blockades interrupting the salt trade. He's like, well, I'm sending Vhagar. Next. So brilliant. And then we've got Hugh, the Smith. He's looking for cash up front. And he's like, you shall be paid. And then Otto does the eye roll, turns round and walks back up. He doesn't walk. But he gets halfway there and Aegon says, our victory depends on the efforts of the small folk. And he turns and about turns. It was so funny.
It's one of my favourite bits in the whole episode.
Oh, I have another that's absolutely hilarious as well, but we'll get to that. But yes, I have two moments that just killed me with like physical stuff, and that was one of them. It was absolutely brilliant. It's not a line. It's just it's all visual.
Yeah.
So funny. So moving on from Aegon's court, we had Miss Arya, who has stowed away on this ship.
She has, and she's been found.
And yeah, she was absolutely busted. And, Daemon's having this, she's getting full on interrogated by Daemon. And she's like, it was all the high towers. I just played the game. Which I suppose is true.
Yeah.
It really is. She just took advantage of the situation that was right there in front of her, and because of her little spies and whisperers, she was aware of the situation, so she played it to her own advantage. And it wasn't even to her own advantage. She wanted those fighting pits stopped.
Yeah, I mean, she was right in what she said. Look, he was going to go home anyway.
Yeah.
I was going to let him go home. I just used him to use the situation.
And she actually, I think she says to Daemon, she's like, I only profited from the knowledge.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. But she didn't really profit. It wasn't gold. She just wanted to... Maybe I heard that wrong. Maybe I'm playing that wrong in my head. I'll have to go back and look at that scene again and see if she used that word. But she certainly didn't. All she asked was for the children's fighting pits to be abolished.
She did, and then she lost everything through it.
She did.
But she knew she was taking a gamble.
Yeah.
For a good reason.
For a very good reason. It was a very, very noble cause. And what the Otto Hightower was like, yes, you shall have your reward. Creepy. And then burns her house down. So this is her on the back of that. She's lost everything. She was just trying to get away, and the ship that she was on has been caught by Dragonstone, of all places. So yeah, she says, I possess nothing of value to you, Daemon. She's like, just throw me in a cell if you want. I've got nothing. And I don't want to scheme with you. I don't want to play with you. But anyway, the next part of this scene carries on to a conversation between Daemon and Eric Cargill, which I clipped because I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I like this conversation.
Have her moved to the cells. She is to be treated as a traitor to the crown.
Forgive me, my prince, but the lady speaks the truth. She was no agent of the Hightowers.
What is it to you?
She was.
A matter of honour.
Was it honour that made you stand by and watch as the Hightowers usurped the throne?
Oh, piss off, Daemon.
You and your traitorous
He's so
twin.
angry.
Yeah.
No, my prince. I'm shamed by it. It's why I abandoned the King's Guard and my brother. and came here.
I don't care. Aegon was in your grasp. You should have killed him yourself.
I reckon I were named to the King's Guard at just 8 and 10. And we swore the same oath. To defend the whole of the royal family. So what were we to do when they turn against one another?
He's so right.
He is right, and how very diplomatic.
Yeah, absolutely. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place in that situation. And he felt he needed to make a choice, and Aegon was not going to be his choice. Not after what he'd witnessed.
Yeah.
Because he was Aegon's personal sworn sword, wasn't he? He was the one, because he said they had the conversation with Otto about the fact that he kept ducking him and slipping off, and he couldn't keep up with him. And it got to a point where he just stopped chasing him. So yeah, he knows exactly what Aegon's been up to and wanted nothing to do with him. So he made his choice in the end. So why are you giving him a hard time, Daemon? Back off. Leave the poor guy alone. He made his choice. He brought the crown, man. He brought our crown. So that would be the last of the side plots, unless you had anything else that you can think of that wasn't really major plots.
No, everything else that I've got is major plot.
No bother. Let's take a short break then. All right, we're back. Let's start with the blacks.
So we're starting with the blacks. Daemon and Rhaenys.
Oh, Mr. Bossy Pants.
Yes, Mr. Bossy Pants.
Oh, yeah, he was. So he wants to go and kill Vhagar. She just got back. She's
absolutely knackered.
Yeah, so she's just totally shattered. You can see it's, she's looking like she's been in those clothes for a couple of days.
Yeah, she's looking kind of grubby.
Yeah, definitely. So the question is, where is Rhaenyra? And, Daemon's trying to make plans without her. I love the way Rhaenys tackles this. She's really cool.
As always.
Yes, definitely. So let's have a listen to the clip.
We're going to King's Landing.
To what end?
Killing Vhagar. I cannot face that hoary old bitch alone. With my dragon and yours together, we can kill Vhagar and her rider. Make it a son for a son.
Ooh, big plans.
This is the Queen's command.
The Queen remains absent. I should be at Harrenhal, bending knees, but I must instead remain here to wage her war.
Or perhaps more simply, to await her return.
She has been gone for days. Too long. She is exposed.
She is grieving.
The mother grieves as the Queen shirks her duties.
Oh, he's so angry, isn't he?
A raven that brought me news of Laena's death. I existed for weeks in torment, refusing to believe what I'd been told. It was only when I saw my daughter's mortal remains that I could begin to mourn her.
No.
A raven has told Rhaenyra that her son is dead. She needs to know it for certain.
She was a fool to go alone. What if Aemond were to happen upon her?
Then I would pity Aemond. The Queen was wise to recuse herself. She's not acted on the vengeful impulse that others might have.
You?
Yeah.
If you'd have acted when you had the chance, Aegon's line would be extinguished.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we've been through this.
And Luke would be alive.
It's not her place.
Don't guilt trip her.
I love the way she just smiles at him and walks away, though.
Then she'd be a kinslayer.
Fly with me. It is a command.
Would that you were the king.
Oh, I love her. I love her so much.
Brilliant.
She really is. She's not taking any of his shit. She sees right through him. She knows he's just running on pure rage and adrenaline and a little bit power hungry.
Yeah.
Being king consort and all that now. The closest he can get to the thing that he's always wanted.
He seems to be seizing his chance at every moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's shot down in flames. He has to do it all in secret.
Yeah. So there's a lot of rage going on there.
I did like the little grumbles from Melly's.
Yeah. Just in the background.
And it's just wonderful how the dragons are absolutely their spirit animal.
They really
It's
are.
great. You just hear the, shut up, Damon.
Brilliant. Love it. So next, for the Blacks, we see Rhaenyra at Storm's End. And whoa, she is a broken lady.
Yeah.
And in desperate need of a bath herself. Couldn't help noticing the need of a bath. So just get it out there. So she obviously can't rest until she finds some sort of proof, as Rhaenys has just explained to Daemon. And it's the face. I mentioned it earlier in my overall thoughts, but the face.
Yeah, Emma Darcy and their face acting, once again, fantastic.
Yes, definitely. So we get a little bit of her, just looking around, and then I think there's some more stuff, and then it comes more stuff with the Greens, and then come back to her again. And she sees some commotion down on the beach where they found a dragon wing.
I love that. Dragon!
Yeah, totally. It took a few seconds to actually, before he says anything.
CGI in that was absolutely amazing.
It really was. The movement, etc. Let's save it for the dragon section.
Yeah.
Right, but wow. But it was so sad. It was just, it was so moving.
Grief and relief all for her in one moment.
It is.
She's able to release those emotions.
And it's not just that grief of Lucerys and not knowing and not being able to find him, not being able to find that evidence. But she also, in that same week, lost her father, her unborn child, and her brother usurped her throne.
Yeah, it's a lot.
She's been holding that in.
Yeah.
And it all just came out when she held that cloak in her hands. It was a cloak. At least that's what I thought it was. Yeah. Luke's cloak along with a dragon wing, and that is all that will ever be found of Arax or Luke. I'm unclear as to whether Luke was eaten by Vhagar or whether Luke was fell. Yeah. It's hard to tell. I thought I saw one of the parts that were falling out the sky. I thought that it could have been a human body, but I'm unsure. If anybody has any ideas on that, please let us know. So then the next scene with the Blacks that we have is Rhaenyra returning. She got what she needed, as Daemon asked her view. Did you get what you needed from that?
And it's just a nod. Yeah.
Just a very slight nod and no more. And then we get those 4 words. Before we get those 4 words, we get everybody just telling her the state of affairs. Your council's at the ready, the ships are in place, ready to move. We're all ready here, waiting your commands. And she has one.
Yeah, I want Aemond Targaryen.
And then she's like, and I can't say anything else. I've got nothing else. I now need a bath. Yep. It's the sinister music as she walks off as well. That was very, very intense. You could feel her rage emulated through the music that was playing. She is one angry, angry lady, and who could blame her? Did you have any other notes on?
On that scene, I felt that her council, mostly Daemon, they were all looking for her to outwardly rage.
Yeah.
And she doesn't.
No.
And it's all these men that are looking for her to give them the nod to go and be men.
I mean, raise havoc without thought or thought of consequence or...
Well, men from days of old, let's say, because our modern men aren't quite so bad now.
Well,
most of them. I'm giving you guys credit here.
Yeah.
But they seem to be waiting. We've waited so long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a couple of days, but we've waited so long. We're giving you all these where we are, and she just has to go.
Yeah.
because she's so smart. Even though in her grief, she's so smart. I want Aemon Targaryen. That's the most rage you're going to get from her.
Yeah.
It's very controlled.
Yeah.
She's a great monarch.
She really is. Couldn't agree more. So yeah, it was powerful stuff. I think you've hit the nail on the head analysing that, what she was feeling there. Definitely. Couldn't have put it better myself. So the next scene regarding the Blacks was Jace's return.
Oh, this was so sad.
Oh, that's what I said. That's what it says right here. So sad.
And he's trying his best to just get out what you know.
He was being a good soldier, reporting in.
He was, and she's been
I've got 2,000 men from the Starks, and Lady Jane has pledged her support.
And he's choking back his tears.
He's trying to just be the strong soldier. But I just love that she goes to him.
And just gives him a big cuddle.
Yeah, absolutely. Just forget the report right now, son. Let's just cry together.
Yeah. Yeah, in that moment, they're just mum and son.
They really are, and it was beautiful. I cried.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah.
You cried at a human moment. Right, okay. God, well, it must have been a good one then. Eh? Yep. It certainly was for me, but I don't have, that big a gauge on these things. It's like emotion, Fiona's crying. Or at least a wee tear in my eye.
But if it's mum stuff,
That's it. It's the mum stuff that gets me the most, to be honest with you, these days.
And I know my son is at the point of becoming a man, and he does try and be very strong.
Yeah.
But the times where he really needs his mum.
Yeah.
I felt that. I felt that moment for them.
Oh, it was beautiful. But he says he has 2,000 men from the Starks. That's great. Those are good numbers. And then
Those greybeards have doubled.
No, he said thousands.
Right. Okay.
I have thousands of greybeards, he says. With his. So yes, then they have a funeral. I think it was definitely needed after all this time. They've all been.
Yeah, they needed some closure.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the way the funeral is played side by side along with Alicent's candle lighting ceremony in the sept.
Yeah. And she says her mother's name, Viserys.
And she hesitates a little, but she's
a good person.
Yeah, and one for Viserys Velaryon.
Not in the books.
No.
It's awful in the books.
But that's just the realm's perspective of her. Who knows?
She's a shit in the books, but I really warmed to her. I think she's fab.
Well, history is documented by the winners.
And TV shows are absolutely documented by the actors.
Yeah.
She's smashing it.
Oh, she's absolutely fantastic. I love her. I think she's great. Right, okay, so I think that was it for the Blacks, unless you have any other notes.
No, that was it.
Okay, so on to the Greens. First of all, Helena's prophecy. So, did you hear what she whispered?
No.
So she's sitting sewing, and it's before Aegon comes into the room. And you're getting shots of the room.
Yeah.
Shout out to the carvings on the wall. Helena has been drawing her dreams. I'll get into that a wee bit more in fun facts, but for now, let's just stick with the scene. And Helena whispers something as she's sitting sewing. She's whispering something to herself. Now, I've seen some YouTube videos of people having a speculation about what that is, and I've turned it right up myself in order to hear it. And it sounds like she's saying, they only want the boy.
Okay. How good's your lip reading?
My lip reading's not bad. It looks like they only want the boy.
Okay.
We could have a little listen, see what we think.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Let's do that. So, did you hear it there?
Yeah.
You think you heard it? Right. Well, that's before I've even cleaned up the audio. Let's hear it again without all that background noise. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know if it's that or the.
Let's hear it again. It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It's very hard to tell.
The last two words are muffled, but the first three are definitely the only want.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure of that. And the
it's
last one, I'm
certainly
sure
boy
it's
at the
boy as well. It's just that second to last word. Is it that? Is it the? Either way, I think it means the same thing.
Yeah.
So...
Well done on that. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I had a little bit of fun with that. We've managed to decode the whispering. And then she says that she was afraid. And I can't remember what it is. Aegon says, do you remember what he says?
Not verbatim.
Right.
It's very nice. His demeanour changes and he says, we've got dragons. Don't be afraid. We're going to be fine.
That was it. Yeah, it's usually like not the dragons, the rats. And obviously, knowing how the episode turns out, we know what that means.
Yeah, and she very weirdly stares at the bed.
Yes, she does.
And all the servants are like, oh, here she is, off on one again. And Aegon's like, oh, what? Do you have the line there, actually, that he says? Have you written that down?
The Queen is an enduring mystery, is she not? Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that was really funny. But at the same time, really, really creepy.
Yeah.
In this prophetic, disturbing kind of way. It's a very disturbing prophecy she's having there.
Also, one of the times where we see Aegon actually be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he was nice. He doesn't understand her one little bit, though, does he?
No.
Oh, definitely not. So moving on, we have the hilarious small council scene.
I don't love this.
It was really funny, actually. Do you know what? The funny part is the beginning, and I have the clip, so let's just play that first, then we'll talk about the rest.
He is to rule one day. Up we go.
Good morrow, my lords. Mother? What news?
Our letters to the Vale and to the north continue to go unanswered.
Cunts.
The Stormlands should be ours after Prince Aemon's marriage pact to the Lady Floris Baratheon. I anticipate their sworn declaration.
My brother is raising the strength of the West to master the Golden Tooth, but we...
You can hear the ball clinking.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
My nephew, Lord Ormond, musters his forces to sally forth from Old Town. They expect to march quickly, meeting little resistance until they reach the Riverlands.
My letters to Rhaenyra. Has there been any answer?
An apology for her dead son?
None, Your Grace. Between that and their blockade of the gullet, we must presume that the princess has refused the offered terms, and that war is now inevitable.
Perhaps your grace might lend his voice to our outreach.
Enough!
In hopes that new terms might be negotiated.
Once. Would someone please...
Is the heir to the throne bothering you, Thailand?
No. No, not in the least, Your Grace.
Because I think he wants a ride.
Your grace.
A ride? A pony ride. Wouldn't that be fun, Jaehaerys? Should the Master of Coin be your royal steed?
Your grace. There are important matters to discuss. Despite Sir Tyland's interruptions.
Very well. No time for amusements, Thailand.
Oh, that was so funny. I really like Aegon in this scene. It's so funny.
As we've often said, it's very different on the audio, and I love the little bit where Jaehaerys is like, mine.
Oh, I had a moment like that with my wee girl today. So I've got the new book, as you saw, my new copy of The World of Ice and Fire to go with my audiobook and Kindle version. Beautiful book. So she's eyeing up my book. She goes, oh. I was like, my book, I said as I picked it up, and she went, my book. But she was winking at me as she said it. And then a couple of minutes later, she said it again. She went, my book. Like, no, it's not. So yeah, had that moment today. It was brilliant, but Jaehaerys was hilarious. Loved that. It was so funny. Thailand was so uncomfortable. Aegon was loving every moment of it.
It was very, very funny.
So when they get back to serious matters, they say that we must assume war. And then Aemon joins, which was awkward.
Yeah.
Alicent was not happy to see him.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be in here, love.
Definitely. But she got shot down quite quickly. Aegon's quite happy for his brother to join, who immediately suggests Harrenhal. And can we just draw a little bit of attention here to this map?
Yes!
It was amazing. It was so cool. I mean, it's no Dragonstone table, but it was cool in its own right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely a World War II map. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's got the little moving parts, yeah. And they're all got their little sigils on them, and it's cool. So yeah, awesome. So they're talking about sending the dragons, and Aegon's quite insistent on sending dragons. He's quite excited about it.
Yeah, he totally is.
So Rhaenyra has dragons as well. Mine are bigger. Another fantastically delivered line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm loving Tom Glencarney in this scene. He's been awesome. Alicent giving the stink eye to Aemond when talking about, the mistakes already made in the war.
How awkward.
But my favourite moment of the entire scene, and possibly the episode, was when Otto makes the speech about exercising patience and restraint, and Aegon slumps down in his chair like something out of Harry Enfield's Kevin.
And twirls the ball.
Yeah, he's like,
so unfair.
Yeah, that is exactly it. It was brilliant. It was so funny. I loved it. I was laughing about that for 2 days afterwards, still chuckling away. Brilliant. So, was there anything else you had on the council scene?
Aemond was great in this scene. He was so mature and calm and collected.
Yes.
In the moment.
Yes.
And it seems to the viewer, if you don't know anything else about it, if this is all you're watching, and you haven't read anything, that he's
he's been doing this for a while.
Yeah, he's the main man. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He's a tactician, and
he certainly comes across as a fantastic strategist.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. He's not making stupid suggestions.
No,
they're very clever and well thought out.
Yeah, he doesn't come across as the younger brother.
No, he doesn't. He's on his mission to prove that he's the better man for the job still.
He is the main Cyclops.
He really is. So the next scene involving the Greens would be Alicent and Otto. And this conversation was quite interesting on a few levels, but I've clipped it, so let's have another listen. Refresh.
I find myself wondering, do we pursue the same end?
I must admit there are days where I myself can't be sure.
I shall tell you mine. It's victory.
And how would you define victory?
Rhaenyra bending the knee, and Aegon sitting the Iron Throne in peace, as Viserys wished.
Well, if that's how you describe it, then we are aligned.
Then be my ally.
I am.
An ally would not repeatedly cut my legs from beneath me at that table of men. I sit there and I feel your anger.
Frustration. These critical days since Viserys' passing haven't gone to plan.
That's not my fault. My sons both see you as the great example. The hand to 3 kings. Aegon is ever eager to prove himself, and Aemond is angry.
No shit.
Rhaenyra's son took his eye and was never punished for it. What he did, however vicious...
The caprice of youth.
Can only hope.
Aemon erred. But he is fiercely loyal. He wishes to please.
And Aegon still heeds me. In private, at least. But if you undermine my voice, both those boys will grow deaf to it.
I hadn't seen it that way.
We only need to mind
I wonder why.
Aegon until the novelty of rule is spent. Once he tires of it, you and I can steer our cause to victory.
A fine strategy, daughter. But you must accept that the path to victory now is one of violence.
I know it. But that does not mean it must be wanton.
No.
And you know, his face says something else than his words there.
Yeah, as Otto often does.
Yeah, definitely.
Alicent is not coming across as a mother in this scene. She is only thinking of the good of the realm.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's also concerned of being pushed aside from her mothering role, in which her boys still listen to her.
For the good of the realm,
yes,
was my perspective on it. I don't think that her boys are her number one priority.
No, I don't think they are either.
It's the realm. I mean, good, because there's a lot of lives at stake.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a mother, that's quite hard to take.
Yeah, definitely. It's an intense scene. It's a definite power shift in Alicent and Otto's relationship.
Yeah.
She was very, very upfront with him. It's like, tell me, are we going for the same thing here?
Yep, on the same page, are we? And the tone of her voice is also very soak.
Yeah, more like a wife than a daughter.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was very, very frank with him and how she felt, and she got her point across, and she actually made him understand, I think, what she is trying to achieve, whether he listens to it or not.
He's coming across as less manipulative and more weary. Seeing a weary side of Otto.
No.
I feel.
Okay, interesting. I'll keep an eye out for that. I don't think I've noticed it up to now, but yes, yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay.
Maybe his age, maybe just the constant shifts, maybe the situation not playing out the way he had imagined.
Or maybe Creepy Laris is right that his time is up.
Yeah, very possibly.
Well, we shall see, indeed.
Yeah.
So, it seems as good a time as any for a short break.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're back. And we are ready to have a little chat about Aemond and Kristen.
Yeah, they seem very close, don't they?
Yeah.
In a big brother kind of way, Cole seems towards Aemond.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely. He's known him his whole life. He's trained him.
Yeah, and Aemond has huge respect for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see in those earlier episodes, but with Aemond at this age, when they were fighting in the courtyard, that there was camaraderie between them. They were having fun with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
And as much as there's the respect for Kristen, Kristen seems to be very proud of Aemond and the man that he's become or becoming.
He's probably got more influence on the man that he's become than his own father has.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely. So they want to conquer the Crowned Lands with Vhagar and an army, with Kristen leading the vanguard.
Well,
yeah, they want to take one castle at a time, gather in numbers as they go.
That's very good, girl, sitting there having a wee chat in your sewing bee. But it's not up to you, is it?
So true.
That was the vibe I got. You can chat it through all you like, but it's ultimately not up to you. And you can be as bitter and nasty about your mum and Rhaenyra, but you're just two gossiping boys.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day.
My brother is hostage to my grandsire and mother, and they tell him that a war of dragons can yet be avoided. More Rhaenyra hate follows.
Yeah.
And somehow Alicent's a victim.
Well, yes.
Of the poison that is Rhaenyra, somehow.
Well, that's Cole's perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They're moving their wee coins around their map and planning their wee strategies. But it's not up to them, is it?
No. There's a wee sewing club sitting there.
Mm-hmm. And then Otto interrupts.
Brilliant.
And says, "It would concern me, grandson, if plans were being considered beyond the ears of your king and his hand." I love that.
That's a put your jammies on and brush your teeth.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. Yeah, so I only wish to serve my king in my house, he says. Yeah, sure.
No, you can't have a drink of water.
So then he goes on, it's like, oh, I understand that you're young and you want to act and everything, and, your youthful urges make you excited to go for it. He says, but I promise you, Aemond, you will have the vengeance that you seek, but you must keep a grip on your impulses. We both know that your brother cannot.
And I think in that moment, Aemond really listens to him.
Yeah, I think he does. Because as much as we hate him, he's right.
Yeah, he is.
He is absolutely right in that moment. So yes.
I don't call him Plotto for nothing.
Oh, absolutely not. That is his name. That is what we are calling him now. And that brings us to our final plot point, which was the introduction of blood and cheese.
Oh, yes.
So Daemon goes and asks Mysaria for knowledge. This is on the back of Rhaenyra's I want Aemon Targaryen.
Yeah. And he's fully running with that.
Yep, definitely. So after he gets the knowledge from Mysaria, the next thing we see is him coming in on the boat. And he comes up to the gates where he meets Blood and says, I'm told you have a mislike for the Hightowers. To which Blood replies, fuck the Hightowers. Like, you're definitely the guy I'm looking for. Brilliant. So they go and they meet Cheese, who talks about the rat-infested Maegor's tunnels, which he knows better than the shape of his own cock.
Yes, apparently he does.
Apparently. So. I love the line from Daemon. He's like, Aemon Targaryen, he has silver hair and one eye. It should be easy to spot.
Yeah.
He says, how will we know? What if we can't find him? And Daemon gives this really strange look. Like, he's like, well, I have a backup plan. But never at any point did I feel like the backup plan was them falling back on something Daemon had told them to do. I felt like it was their own backup plan.
I'm not sure. I think that because he said a son for a son, he said it in a loose way, being an intelligent inch and a mile type guy, knowing that they may be quite cowardly in the face of it.
Yeah.
And just take any son that they could.
Yeah. It was evil. There was pure evil on his face.
It was evil. There was another evil that was committed by Blood, actually.
Oh, kick the dog.
Kicked Cheese's dog.
Yes, he did. I was absolutely raging when he kicked the dog.
My husband was so angry. He said, "I hope he dies."
Mm.
Well, I think he said something worse than that, but it was along those lines.
It was awful. I can't believe he kicked that poor dog.
Well, it's really mean.
Yeah. But before that, they're moving up through the sewers, and come on, these were absolutely amazing. This is a set built. We saw this in the making of the episode as well. The work that went into creating this sewer was absolutely outstanding and worthwhile because it was so believable. And Maegor's tunnels and,
Absolutely. The use of light.
Yeah.
Like they didn't use a lot of light. They just had you going with, you are moving with the characters.
Yeah.
You don't know where the characters are going.
Yeah.
But you're going with them.
Yeah.
And the way the light bounces off the tunnels and off the water.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Loved it.
Very, very, very cool. They come to the throne room, and Aegon is sitting getting drunk with his 3 friends, who I am, by the way, calling it right now. I'm now naming these guys Curly, Larry and Mo. I have no idea what their real names are, but they are Curly, Larry and Mo. Right?
I love that they're all sitting there trying to do like different names. Aegon the Magnanimous. And they're all just like taking a piss out of it. It's brilliant.
I have the clip.
Hey!
Let's hear it.
I need to be a symbol for the small folk as well as the nobility.
Yours would always be Aegon the Strong.
My nephew's already taken that one.
Loved or feared?
I need to be both. My mother and grandsire mind me like some helpless duckling.
Oh, but you're the king. Who gives a shit what they say?
My brother at least knows his place. He's as loyal as a hound. I can set him and his dragon on my foes at will.
Keep your eyes down.
I need a style that demonstrates power and commands respect. No one knows what magnanimous means.
I think Aegon the Generous, then. That would charm the small folk.
I like that.
Is there more strong one? Aegon the Dragonheart.
Better.
Aegon the Dragon Cock.
Yes. Yes. The untamable beast.
Oh, he is particularly hilarious in this episode.
Yeah.
He's absolutely bladdered there, though, isn't he?
I thought he acted it very well.
He was very much. He may possibly have actually just been drunk for that. I think there was some method acting going on there. He was hammered.
Yeah, but if he wasn't method acting, he did very, very well.
Definitely. So, back to Blood and Cheese. And yes, they are sneaky in their way through the castle, right past the king, in the throne room.
They are, and it's so atmospheric.
Oh, definitely. It's so eerie. You're like on the edge of your seat the whole way through this scene. It is so creepy. And then they get to this space. And Cheese says, we can't go any further. Upstairs is off limits. And I've just thought to myself, oh no, the meathead is the brains of the operation.
Oh dear.
Oh, the job's fucked. But here they go. So they enter a secret panel in the room that Aemond and Otto were just sitting in.
Yeah.
That nobody knows is there. Except maybe.
I love the Horace and Jasper vibes from like 101 Dalmatians.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a bit like that, wasn't it? Never thought of that.
Yes, you get on upstairs. They were so like the dumb one and the mean one. They were absolutely Horace and Jasper.
They were, and well, I think they were both dumb.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the same with Horace and Jasper, to be fair.
The dumb one and the dumb mean one.
Yeah. That kicks dogs.
Yeah.
We don't like him.
No, we don't.
So yeah, they're in there and like Blood's like scooping up all the coins that Aemond and Kristen have just left lying around. And they split up and go searching for something. And Blood has a moment with this maid.
Yeah.
And she doesn't raise the alarm.
No, but
she's definitely thought something was up.
She looked very freaked out, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm here for the rats," and he shows off his. I'm doing voices now. Like, I don't know what this is, but anyway, he's showing off his rat catching gear, and then he's on the floor with his torch rolling about to see what's going on. Like, am I in the right room? Because he's no idea where he is at this point.
No.
So, I mean, balls to him. Because he's like, he's right in the thick of it, isn't he?
He really is. So she's
Don't forget, he thinks he's going for Aemond.
Yeah.
Targaryen. He's not looking for a baby in his bed at this point.
No, he's not.
So he must have been shitting his pants.
Definitely. And when she disappeared, he was off after her. He pulls out his blade and he goes running out after her. And this amazing scene with the rain coming down. And cool. It's so cool.
I did like the behind the scenes with the rain coming down.
Yeah.
And there's these guys with squeegees. And I love that they'd said, oh, actually, the main part of the clear up of this is the squeegees.
Yeah.
It's all about manpower. And I'm like, go on, boys.
Yeah. But hard labour.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter how much you put into something. It actually boils down to just working really hard.
It really does.
And that's what's really cool about these things.
Yeah, definitely. The behind the scenes, guys, if you haven't seen it, it is on YouTube. It's an after show on HBO Max that comes after the House of the Dragon, called The House That Dragons Built.
Yes.
And yeah, so check them out on YouTube or on HBO if you're in the States. We can't get that here. Yeah. I tried. They won't let us. But they said they're working on it.
Yay!
Yay! So, yes, House That Dragons Built. Check it out. So, where were we?
We were...
Oh, the rain. Yeah. That's where we were. And this maid, she runs off. And there's a good amount of time between this moment and the end of the episode, in which, if she thought something was wrong, she could have raised some sort of alarm, but didn't.
I wondered if she just feared for her own safety in the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe she feared rape or something like that.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been that.
I don't think that she would have thought there was an immediate danger to the royal family, because he'd shown himself as, oh, no, I'm a rat catcher, so
yeah.
I'm supposed to be here. But I think she just wanted to scurry out of there. I'm sorry, I could have picked a better word.
Scurry, yes. Brilliant. So, right, here we go. And then he hears the noise coming from the other room.
Yeah.
Where he walks in to find Cheese standing with Helena at knife point. And I have clipped this scene, so let's just play it.
Stay still.
Who the fuck is she?
She's the queen, she is.
A son for a son, he said. Or does she look like a fucking son to you?
Over there.
God, his laugh is maniacal. I never noticed that during watching it. It's the audio.
We need to get our head and get out. They both look the same. Which one's a boy?
Maybe that one.
We'll look for a cock.
The mother knows.
Do anything but what I ask, and I'll bleed the whole lot of you. Shh. Which?
I have a necklace.
Oh, bless her.
It's of great value.
That's not a son.
Oh, it's so tense.
Wait. It's the other one. She's not going to give up the king's heir that easy.
There's something about her face.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
No. She's telling true.
Hold him down.
And she says no in that moment. I feel like that is the moment where suddenly she realised she wasn't in a dream anymore. That this was really happening this time, because this moment is played out for her so many times in her visions. And I think she just realised in this moment that it was like, it's not a dream this time. Okay, I need to get the girl, I need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they let her go. Like, while they were still doing what they were doing.
I think even though they were carrying it out, it still must be such a shocking thing that they were doing. Maybe they were just so engaged in that act.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be onto something. It was pretty intense thing that they were doing, and they were engaged on getting it done and getting out of there.
Yeah.
And let's face it, there was barely a brain cell between them.
Yeah.
So they obviously weren't thinking, hey, let's not let the witness escape until we've done the job. Because let's face it, he knows Maegor's tunnels. They could quite easily finish what they're doing and get out of there. But if they let her run off, that lessens their chances of getting out.
Absolutely. Like, why did they grab her in the first place?
Well, that too.
You know, you silly Billy.
Yeah, he was. It was intense. So there's no one around. She's running through the hallway, and this scene of her running right through the keep was absolutely amazing. It was, you just were like, where are all the people? Why is there no one there? Why can't she find anybody? I was right there with her in her panic, and she's making her way through the cat. She doesn't know where she's going. She's just fleeing. Yeah. And then she has this moment, and she's like looking in all directions, trying to decide where to go. And then I think did we hear noises coming from Alison's room?
Not as far as I remember. I was very engaged in the scene and the rainfall.
Yeah.
And I was actually listening to see if Jaehaera was making any noises.
Right.
Because I thought, why is this kid not crying? Why is she not screaming? But you did hear her make, but I was, a couple of wee noises, but I was very engaged in, is that wee kid okay?
Yeah. I was, of course I'm concerned for the wee girl, but I don't think she saw anything. So I'm thinking, I think as far as I was concerned, she'd just been scooped up, and she was, she probably felt her mother's tension. But I don't think she saw anything, so I don't think she had any cause to be scared.
No, listen. If I dragged my daughter out of her bed and ran through the rain in my pajamas, you best believe my youngest would be like, what the hell is going on? Mum, why are we here? Why am I wet? What's going on? Oh my God, help. Like, Mum's lost her mind.
No, I think my wee girl would just put her head on my shoulder and go back to sleep.
Yeah, but yours is 2.
Yeah, and she's a wee bit older. These twins are 6. Yeah.
So my daughter's 9.
Yeah.
So
no, if you did it to her now,
and the rest of them are older. Like mine are all older. At 6, I reckon my kids would have been very aware that I'd taken them out of their bed,
right?
And it was raining, and I was running.
Yeah.
And that was my what I was listening for. So I didn't hear if there were any sex noises coming.
I don't know if it was sex noise, but there was definitely or at least I think I heard a noise just before, and I think that Helena heard it too, because when I thought I heard a noise, she turned her head quickly, like she turned in towards a noise.
Well, I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Creaky bed noise.
Yeah, I think there was that. And she went straight for her mother's room, or Rhaenyra's old room.
Oh dear.
Where they're doing it in Rhaenyra's old bed. And there's so much for it can't happen again.
Well, yeah.
But the only words from Helena were, they killed the boy. Which, if I'm right about the thing that she's whispering earlier in the episode, they only want the boy. They killed the boy.
I think for me, the thing that in my brain was Rhaenyra is going through a terrible grief and only said 4 words.
Yeah.
Also, Helena only said 4 words when her boy died.
Yeah.
So it was the 4 words for 4 words.
Very well spotted. I like that. I didn't make that link, but I see it now. It's clever. Yeah, you could be onto something there. So you're linking it to the comparison of Rhaenyra's only 4 words, and I can see that little...
It's the title of the episode, so A Son for a Son. So for me, I had to find a link up there.
No, it's a great link up.
So yeah, there was the 4 words for the 4 words between the 2 mothers.
Yeah, I see this. I see that, and I'm also thinking about they only want the boy, and then they killed the boy. It's a very similar language.
Yeah.
Very similar. Helena, it's like she's just realised, okay, it's really happened now.
Yeah.
I've seen it loads of times before, but this time it really happened. And I felt for her so much. It was awful. And she's so innocent and possibly a little autistic.
I kind of felt for Alicent in that moment too, if I'm honest, because we've all been there. When the wee ones come through, when you're having a grown-up cuddle.
Yeah. Hey, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, what do you want? Are you okay? Are you all right?
Zoe hasn't climbed out her cot yet, so...
Oh, well, you'll get there.
We're good so far. So do you have any other notes on those final scenes?
No, that was my parting thought, that the mums had 4 words each, really, when their sons had passed.
So if that's us on those matters, that's all my notes too. That means it's time for dragon sightings. So not a lot going on in the dragon section this week. Few fantastic moments, though, small as they were.
Yeah.
First of all, there was Meleys in the cave when Rhaenys was bringing her in for a rest. And I think the best part about this scene, because you mean you've got a stationary dragon at this point, she's not doing much. But what was impressive to me was the sheer size.
Yeah.
Compared to Rhaenys herself. And the cave, that cave is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Little dragon harbour.
That's cool, yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, that was really cool. Did you have any notes on that wee bit?
No, I mean, like I said earlier, it was just the little snippets of roar. Or slight roar.
Grumbles.
Yeah, like, oh, fuck off, Damon.
Yeah, definitely. Meleys and Rhaenys are definitely close.
Yeah, they're very attuned, aren't they?
Very.
Yeah.
So, the next thing we see dragon-related would be those scorpions, which...
Yeah, and we do see Vhagar flying around with a lot of holes in her rings.
Oh, I know. I mean,
it just shows her battle scars, which was really cool.
Yeah, none of them were Arax.
No. Those are
old wounds.
Those are weedy battle scars on that old girl.
And it's only Vhagar.
Yeah.
Only.
Dragon! Oh, it's only Vhagar.
Yeah, but those scorpions look pretty deadly.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while. I think it's the first time in a long time they've had to have them on the walls. So Vhagar, but from a massive distance. But the holes are in the battles that dragon.
She's very imposing, even from distance, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the battles that Vhagar's been in. There was the Dornish Wars, where Vhagar and Balerion were just the equivalent of bombing Dorne for years. But I don't know of a lot of fighting back. So I'm thinking that a lot of that damage to Vhagar happened during the Field of Fire.
Yeah.
That's the only huge battle that I can think of that Vhagar's been in. I can't think of any others unless, the Dornish got off a few scorpion bolts at Vhagar during the Dornish Wars.
Maybe.
Could very well be that. So interesting how badly damaged Vhagar is, and she can still fly.
Good old girl. She could use that turkey neck to fly at this stage, to be fair.
Definitely. Actually, there was one other battle, because during the initial conquest, before she flew in and just took the castle, there was an initial battle at sea with Vhagar above.
All right.
So it was the Valyrian fleet and Vhagar against the Arryn fleet.
Right, okay.
During that battle, the Valyrians and Vhagar won, but they took a lot of damage as well. So, yeah. Moving on. What was our next dragon?
Our next dragon is Syrax.
Oh my God, this scene was absolutely amazing.
It was phenomenal.
The CGI we mentioned earlier was absolutely outstanding. The way that dragon moved.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Like Rhaenyra, the way she jumped down off it. I saw that in the making of, and it was just like a little platform. Some steps.
One of those platforms that the dog gets up to bed on.
Yeah.
It's totally not as cool as a dragon.
No, not at all. But it was seamless. It looked really good.
It did.
Did you have any other notes on Syrax?
I thought Syrax was sort of mirroring Rhaenyra's emotion.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Very sad.
There was lots of moaning and wailing type noises from Syrax, although Rhaenyra was giving nothing away because she just had the face.
Yeah.
But Syrax was emulating her emotion, definitely. Such a beautiful dragon.
She is. And it's the dragon bond. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. So definitely love that. Did we have any other dragon moments? I think that might have been it. Just Rhaenyra returning.
Yeah.
We saw the dragon flying in through the window from Eric Cargill's perspective there. Realising Mommy's home. So yeah, and then her obviously arriving, and again, it was pretty much like the earlier scene with Mellie's, just the dragon in the background as she's walking down the platform, but no other dragon action.
No, must be saving that for another episode, I would imagine.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So that will. Do you have any other notes in general?
No, I don't.
Let me just check. I don't think I do. No extra notes. Well, then that brings us to R.I.P. So in this episode, we said goodbye to Jaehaerys Targaryen, named after the old king, his great-grandfather. No, wait a minute.
Great-grandfather?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Viserys
is Jaehaerys' grandchild, and he's Viserys' grandchild.
Yeah, so great.
Great.
Twin to Jaehaera.
Yes. They say that there's a connection between twins that, when one's lost, the other one is just missing something for the rest of their days. That's sad.
That is sad.
He was a cute little boy though, wasn't he?
He was full of fun.
Yes, and mischief.
Yeah.
Winding up Thailand. It's really sad. It was a very shocking death. And it is certainly one that will go down in Game of Thrones universe history as one of the most shocking.
Yeah, I think hardest one so far.
Yeah.
In House of the Dragon.
Definitely. So no hilarity in the RIP section this week. It is just pure shock and sadness.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Jaehaerys. So that brings us to fun facts. We have a few from IMDb and we have some stuff that we've put together ourselves. So let's start with the IMDb stuff.
Cool.
Blood and cheese were changed noticeably from what happens in Fire and Blood. In the book, Alicent is also present for the murder and the children are all awake. Blood and cheese make Helena choose which of her two sons to kill. Helena bargains with her own life but is denied and finally chooses Maelor to be killed. Blood instead decapitates Jaehaerys.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Equally as horrifying.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, the whole thing was just ugh.
Yeah.
So not a fun fact, really, was it? No. But a fact, nonetheless. So the next one. Tom Taylor appears in this episode as Cregan Stark. Although not from Yorkshire himself, Taylor uses a Yorkshire accent. The accent was originally established as the accent of the Northmen because of actor Sean Bean's native Yorkshire accent.
That is a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
I like that. And he smashed that Yorkshire accent, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They've cast him in the role and decided that that's going to be the accent of all the Northmen.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So, as we know, Bean starred as Eddard Stark in the first season of Game of Thrones. Okay, so the next one. Jaehaerys' murder is foreshadowed heavily throughout. Rats are a motif throughout the entire episode, with many rats being shown in shots of the Red Keep, foreshadowing the rat catcher Cheese's involvement. Helena tells Aegon that she is afraid of rats. Cheese can be seen in the background at the scene of Aegon's meetings in the throne room, walking in the hallway outside.
Oh.
And he's in the background of the scene at Aegon's meetings. He's also precedes the small council meeting as well.
Right.
Just as they're all going into the wee room where they have their small council meetings, he's in the doorway, picking up his little rat catchy boxes. So yeah, the rats were heavily foreshadowed all the way through. Right, the next one is this is the first episode in the series to be directed by Alan Taylor, who previously directed 7 episodes of the original Game of Thrones series. Which I forgot to say when we were given his CV earlier on. And I completely forgot to say Game of Thrones. But yes, I do remember when I looked this up. I can't remember which ones though. But yeah. Do we have any more? Oh yes, one more. In the books, Daemon is at Harrenhal when he hears of Luke's death. He sends a letter to Rhaenyra that says, "An eye for an eye, a son for a son. Luke will be avenged."
Ooh, that's a different turn of events, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, Daemon actually actively goes and takes that revenge in the TV show version, but I think he probably had something to do with it from Harrenhal. Did he? You've read that part of the book. I haven't read that far ahead. Was he complicit in the events in the book? Can you remember?
I can't remember.
Okay, I'll maybe come back with that information later as well.
Yeah.
I actually listened to that chapter the other night and fell asleep, so I didn't get the end of it. So I'll have to have a go at that. So that's it. We are now on to the interesting stuff that we found out regarding the Bayeux Tapestry.
So, the Bayeux Tapestry is a unique artefact. It was created in the 11th century. So if you step into the engrossing story of the conquest of England by William the Duke of Normandy, he was the inspiration for Aegon the Conqueror.
I did some research into William the Conqueror, so it goes as follows. William, some of this I put together from Wikipedia, some of this comes from Iron, Fire and Ice, the real history that inspired Game of Thrones book by Ed West.
Oh, cool.
Some of it's from YouTube. So yes, William the Conqueror, sometimes called William the Bastard, was the first Norman king of England, reigning from 1066 until his death. William was the illegitimate son of Normandy's Duke Robert and a low-born woman. Robert is said to have spied William's mother, Herleva, while she was out washing by the river in her hometown of Falaise, a tale borrowed by Martin to explain how Lord Bolton first saw the mother of his psychotic bastard, Ramsay Snow.
Oh, that is a cool fact.
So yeah, not only did William inspire Aegon, he was also an inspiration for Ramsay as well. Yeah, this tale was rather more romantic. If I remember rightly, Roose Bolton's was a little more rapey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Herleva was of modest background and they were unmarried, but although a bastard, William was accepted as his father, Duke Robert's heir, something that would have been unthinkable a century later. So in 1066, following the death of Edward the Confessor, William invaded England, leading an army of Normans to victory over the Anglo-Saxon forces of Harold Godwinson at the Battle of Hastings, and suppressed subsequent English revolts, which has become known as the Norman Conquest. The Normans were descended from Vikings who had settled around the River Seine. In the 1050s and early 1060s, William became a contender for the throne of England held by the childless Edward the Confessor, his first cousin once removed. There were other potential claimants, including the powerful English Earl Harold Godwinson, whom Edward named as king on his deathbed in January 1066, arguing that Edward had previously promised the throne to him and that Harold had sworn to support his claim. William claimed that Harold had sworn an oath to him when the Englishmen had shipwrecked in northern France, which may be true, but was probably under duress.
Yeah.
So William built a large fleet and invaded England in September 1066. It was not dragons that gave him the advantage, though, but cavalry, and the Normans had bred a new type of warhorse called the destrier. Medieval mounts were much bigger than the animals used by the Greeks or the Romans. And it was the Parthians and the Byzantines that began the development of these big war horses. However, in northern France, this is where horse breeding really took off. So it was a bit of an arms race of larger and more aggressive animals as cavalry became the most effective form of warfare. The Normans had a war horse called the destrier, as I said, and pioneered a new terrifying tactic, the cavalry charge.
That's really cool.
So instead of dragons, we've got these big, powerful horses that no one's seen before. They also developed armor to protect their mounts and bred animals that were temperamentally better suited for war. And they could even be trained to bite. So yeah, I found that really interesting. So
that is really interesting. I wonder, but obviously I've not seen the whole Bayeux tapestry.
Yeah.
I've seen bits of it in the little bits of research that I did, but this thing is over 70 metres long.
Yeah.
It's called the Bayeux tapestry, but it's not actually a tapestry, it's an embroidery.
Yeah.
And there's 58 scenes. So I wonder, are the armoured horses on it? I have to go and have a look now.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool. I wondered if there's a horse biting anyone.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
I'm going to have a wee look for that now you've said. The tapestry was commissioned by Bishop Odo, who was William's maternal half-brother. So his another bastard.
Yes.
But this guy was like, he was still brought up and trained to be a swordsman, to fight. He was educated. It was William that made him a bishop. and sort of rose his standing.
Yeah.
They were very, very close.
Yeah.
And when he conquered England, William had put Odo there in his stead while he went back to France. So Odo was essentially the King of England in all but name.
Yes.
And this guy was a total arsehole. Although he was meant to be a religious man, he was very violent.
Yes.
And he ended up with loads of embezzled money and lands, and William found out. And it was actually William that arrested him when it came to pass.
Yeah.
Because he'd ordered guards to arrest him, and they didn't move. So he physically had to arrest him himself and put him in irons. And he went to a jail in France for 5 years. And their other bastard half-brother kept begging William, please, will you let him out? Will you let him out? And William was like, no, I'm not doing it. He's an arse. He stole from me.
Right, okay, so that's a much more in-depth little bit than what I've got here.
But it's really cool.
It's very cool.
You know, we know that George has taken inspiration from that, and the feud within families and the brothers and second sons and all of that stuff, and the greed and the entitlement and the power struggles.
Yes,
so
definitely. Yeah. So I've got here, on top of that, it was like, so he decisively defeated and killed Harold at the Battle of Hastings on October 14th, 1066. After further military efforts, William was crowned king on Christmas Day, 1066, in London. He made arrangements for the governess of England in early 1067 before returning to Normandy, which brings us to your part of the story. Several unsuccessful rebellions followed. And then I got a little bit here about Odo as well. It says that William spent the 20 years following his invasion fighting rebels and rivals and falling out with almost everyone around him, including his eldest son Robert, his wife Matilda, and his half-brother Odo.
Oh, that's right, because his son Robert spent a lot of time with Odo when they went up to Scotland.
Right.
And was it King Malcolm, I think? They made him bend the knee, essentially.
Right, okay.
So he swore fealty. And all of this time, Odo kept saying to Robert, oh, talk to your dad.
Yeah.
Talk to your dad. And he refused. He never spoke to him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they had that success up there, and he said, oh, your dad will talk to you now. And he's like, I don't care. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah. Did you hear yourself there when you were talking about that Northern King that bent the knee?
Yes.
There we go. There's another bit of the story that's totally taken from this.
Yeah.
This part of history. So William's hold was mostly secured in England by 1075, allowing him to spend the greater part of his reign in continental Europe. And there's a really interesting bit here about names. So the Norman conquest helped bring England closer to the mainstream of Europe. English names such as Ethelred, Athelstan, or Leofwine were replaced by the names more popular with the Northern French aristocracy. The Frankish William, Henry, Robert, Richard, and Geoffrey, along with biblical or Greek names such as John, James, Catherine, Margaret, and Thomas. And so to give Westeros a medieval feel, it features names such as Robert, John, Catelyn, Marjorie, and Tommen.
Okay, cool.
In fact, indeed, numerous characters in Westeros have names with real life parallels in England. So much of it is taken from just this part of medieval England. It's really cool. The rest of his life was marked by struggles to consolidate his hold over England and his continental lands. He died in September of 1087 when leading a campaign in northern France. His reign over England was marked by the construction of castles. So soon after Christmas in 1066, the conquerors' work began on building their first castles. There had been such structures in England before the Normans, but only a dozen or so, and mostly were wooden and small. But they built them by the hundreds to protect themselves from the natives and from each other. But the most famous was the White Tower in the east of London, known as the Tower of London, and the inspiration for the Red Keep.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And finally, he was also famous for settling in a new Norman nobility on the land and a change in the composition of the English clergy. He did not try to integrate his domains into one empire or 7 kingdoms, but he continued to administer each part separately. His lands were divided after his death. Normandy went to Robert and England went to his second surviving son, William Rufus, which also caused some problems, but that's another story.
I've actually just remembered when you said about the religious stuff. So Bishop Odo, he tried to overthrow the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Right.
So this was all sort of just before he was caught out for his embezzling from the crown.
Right.
But he also had ideas that apparently there was a seer and had told him she'd had a vision and someone called Odo would be the next pope. So yeah, he genuinely thought that he had some sort of papal
vision.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so funny. Do you know, it actually ties into something else that I read. I swear it was in my notes somewhere, but I didn't see it, so I must have missed it out. But it actually said the tapestry was... So the part of the reason that they think it was commissioned by Odo is because some of the scenes in the tapestry paint Odo in a much better light than the history records do.
Yeah, you know that's the vibe now after hearing about what this guy's like.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds totally on the nose.
Absolutely. Well, he's like, I am ruler here in all but name.
Yeah.
My brother's not here, so I'm going to have this big tapestry that says forever.
Oh.
It was me.
Yeah, that seems well in character.
And it's such sibling stuff. It's so funny.
Yeah, and the son stuff as well, and then there's the fact that William's grandchildren were Matilda and Stephen, who basically it's the story of Aegon and Rhaenyra.
Right. Okay.
So when Matilda was supposed to be the heir to the throne. And then when their father died, her cousin, Stephen, had himself crowned and usurped it.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Oh, right. Okay. No, you do know that because we talked about it in our last fun facts. But we were just like so laughing our way through that one that I think it maybe just got lost in translation.
Also, I have a sieve brain.
Yes, me too. If I hadn't listened to it recently while editing, I probably would have completely forgotten about it as well. So that brings us to the end of our fun facts then.
Cool.
We will be back next time with episode 2, yet to be named.
If you want to contact us, you can head over to our website, unraveling.com. You can find links to our social media and Patreon to review, like, follow and subscribe. You can also leave us a voice message that we may use on the show. Finally, you can email us at talk@theunrealhour.com.
If you like what we're doing here and you want to support the show, then you can visit patreon.com/theunrealhour, where you can subscribe for ad-free listening, early access episodes and exclusive content. And if you don't want to commit to a monthly subscription, then you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/theunrealhour. All your donations will go back into the show to cover costs and keep the lights on. Once again, thanks for listening. Until next time, keep it unreal.